Texas persimmon trees. Currently I've got 3. When I moved in I had 6 or 7. One there, and there's a giant one back here. I had an arborist walk the property with me when I first moved in just to identify everything. He said these were easily over 100 years old. He said this one was a giant specimen is what he called it. It's got to be not quite 20 feet tall, maybe 20, close to 20. These other ones, though, are pretty big, but they're leaning. They've been under this cedar elm tree for about, well, more than 100 years. And so they're stretching to get the light. Well, when I moved in, there were several other stalks coming up here, and very quickly they started falling over. They just couldn't carry the weight that they had up at the top of the trunk. And they were just, would come outside after a big storm, a huge tree laying in the ground. Well, I didn't want to lose these. And the reason I'm taking this during winter is to document the progress. I didn't want to lose these trees, and so what I did with those ones that fell over is I created supports. One there and one there. I cut a third one back there that I thought I might use right here, but I wasn't really sure. Well, if that didn't work out great, as of right now, the only thing holding up these 2 trees, you can see the thick layer of ice. I just shook it off over here to show a contrast. It's kind of shaken off there. Look at the thick layer of ice. You can see the snow. It just snowed 6.5 inches. And then it froze, and then we had freezing rain last night. So everything's covered with ice. Everything's been bent over with heavy snow. And the only thing holding up these 2 trees right now are these supports. Let's check it out. This support right here is a huge Y that I cut from one of the trees that fell over. Underneath here is a 5-gallon bucket with the bottom cut out. And underneath that is 4 inches of pea gravel, 1/4-inch river rock rather, not pea gravel, 1/4-inch river rock, and filled with sand. So that's what's on the bottom. And then I needed a sleeve so that this thing wouldn't move. And so that, the ground will just keep compressing, right? You keep putting ground in there, it'll keep compressing. So I wanted a sleeve in there so I could control the compression, and just cut the bottom out of a 5-gallon bucket and put it in there. So, and then filled that with sand. So this shouldn't rot at the base. Plus this persimmon wood is pretty hard anyway. It's a very slow growing tree. And the only thing holding up this tree right now, I'm lifting it. Oh my gosh. Seriously, the only thing holding up that tree right now is this post. It is weighed down heavy. Usually this has a little gap, like you can put your fingers in there and stuff. Not today. This one over here, I know it looks kind of awkward, like the angle and everything, but there's a huge root. There's actually several roots coming out right here, right in there, and then another one right here. And so I couldn't put it over here. I had to, the only way I could move it up this trunk, and I dug test holes all in areas where I could support this trunk. The only way I could do it and have something here to brace was right here. You see that other one up against the fence? I was debating putting that here, right here, underneath there, just as a holder. And I think I will. This just is, if you see it from this angle, you can tell there's just not much mechanical advantage there. I mean, yes, this is supporting it, and yes, this is holding it. And I come up here and I try and lift it, and I can't. It is definitely being supported by that. But it's just an awkward angle. I want some more strength right there. So I am going to put that there. But same thing here. At the very bottom of the hole is 4 inches of 1/4-inch river rock filled with sand. And then on top of that, I put a 5-gallon bucket with a bottom cut out of it. And put this in there and then filled that with sand. So it drains really well. And you can see the brace. Man, this thing just works great. It's kind of resting up against this right here, so giving it lateral support. And I mean, it's not the biggest log, but man, this wood is strong. And this is a beautiful tree. It's very heavy right now with ice. You can see they're both very heavy with ice, but yeah, I guess these supports paid off. This is a Texas persimmon.